Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down.
It has been long overdue to expose the truth that the Democrats and Republicans are sucking the life out of America's liberty and usurping our rights at every turn. Now is the time to seize our civil liberties and take back our individual rights. Here on Southern Liberty, we will expose it all. With his musket on his back, the Declaration of Independence in one hand, and the Constitution in the other, here's your host, Roderick Threets.
Welcome to the weekend, Liberty Defenders. Let me repeat that again. Welcome to the weekend. All right. Hey, look, it's been very tough out here politically in these streets. You know, you got people getting all twisted, all kind of which way about how to feel, who, what, and when. All these major scandals breaking out. And my word of advice as I sip on my Kofefe, right now, is don't fall for the bait. Don't fall for the bait, people. Don't do this to yourself. Got you here all twisted up, having to defend someone or something that you don't even know. Got you up here defending grown ass people. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Because you're putting yourself in a world of hurt when you do that. You waiting to get dive bombed, live bombed, and dive bombed from a seagull. But anyway, hey, look. Been a hell of a week. That man up there in the Oval Office, the current occupant of the Oval Office, no matter how he got there and how you feel he got there, decided he's gonna run for president again. He gonna decide he gonna run for presidents. Oh, what you doing, bro? Like, for real, what you doing? But wait, you know what's funny though. You know what's funny about this, Miss Kale?
I don't know what's funny about it.
Look, you know the other day ABC had RFK Jr. on, right? Mm-hmm. And they tried to drag that man, right? That man stood on his principles, what he stood for, and they tried to drag him away. Your family says this, and your family says that. In other words, look, mofo, stay in line. Right, and that's basically what that interviewer tried to tell you. You just need to play the part and get in line, okay? Get in line, get away. He's like, no. He said it eloquently, right? He said, families don't always agree on everything.
Exactly.
Right, but we're still family. This, that, whatever. And she was taken aback. So the whole thing that they tried to put him on Front Street about the autism thing and the vaccine thing. He's like, look, what changed?
Yeah.
No autism, all of a sudden a bunch of autism? Like, what changed? I'm kind of ad-libbing his words, but I'm like, I mean, it's been debunked many times. Debunked by who? Well, the CDC. Oh, they're held, right? Oh. And RFK sat right there and just pulled the whole card and was like, yo, look, they are all controlled. They are all controlled. What you mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? And he's right.
It's all controlled by the government. And the press is the only entity that doesn't actually understand that.
Right. Because they don't understand it because they're also controlled by the state.
Oh, yeah. At this point, yeah. There's no two ways about it.
Right? Look, they had to cut the interview short for RFK Jr. They cut that motherfucker. Well, we apologize for the positions of the vaccine and the fact that the the authorities have said, yeah, they flat out said this on the air. And I'm like, you sit here telling mofos hellacious lies. Yeah, she said right
it's
there.
not just that, but we're going to apologize for your sensitive feelings because we know that you're too sensible to listen to people who actually tell the truth. You're too sensible for that. You're going to listen to us. We lie.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here like, why can't you just be honest journalists and let the man say his piece? See, again, this is an instance where the fairness doctrine, if it was still in play, ABC would have been crucified.
Yes,
they would have been crucified up down one mountain and up down the other side of Amber Ways of Grain, all the way up Mount Rushmore and back on down through the Black Hills. Like they would have been crucified. Yep. But with the removal of the fairness doctrine in journalism, they can say whatever they want, and literally, it's literally like what did they say in Congress? Move to strike the last word. That's basically what they do now. This is what the media does. They strike the last word of anybody they do not like or something they don't agree with.
And if they don't strike the last word, then they certainly strike the interview and say, "Look, this is misinformation. We're not going to air this." Right. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Just because it's an opposing viewpoint, and just because he has information that is different from what you believe is true, doesn't mean that you have the right to pull the plug on the interview. And it also doesn't mean that you have the right to apologize for his point of view.
Right.
As long as he can back up his sources, as long as he can back up the information that he has, who are you to tell him he's wrong?
Exactly. Until you are in a position that you have seen this, and here's the thing, right? And again, right? RFK Jr., right? He's dealt with science all of his career. I mean, he is an he's an environmental attorney. He's dealt with science and research and things like that. I think he would know. And let's keep it real, right? I would take an opinion from RFK Jr. on something scientific than I would that interviewer, that journalist that interviewed him. Yeah, 100 times over past Sunday, I would take his opinion over hers, or whatever narrative she's spitting out across that screen at me.
Yeah. Agreed. Absolutely agree. But you're going to hear more and more of this as time goes on because he is running for the presidency. Yeah, and they want to try and stifle that as much as they can.
And promote Biden. We talked about on here, right? The whole narrative with these TikTok influencers, social media influencers going to the White House to get marching orders, right? Let's call it what it is. They're marching orders,
they have
right?
Their own office.
Yeah. So, bruh man over here, y'all know how we get down. On here, right? We ain't gonna shoot you the bullshit. We're just gonna give it to you all the way straight, right? And we're gonna tell you who's what and where. So a lot of you that are on TikTok that listen, right? Y'all know the guy that goes by typical Democrat. His name is Harry Sisson, right? And a couple of these Gen Z type guys, right, are jumping on the Biden bandwagon, and the videos are cringe, right? Because you're literally repeating false information.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then they turn around and said, but we're not paid by the DNC. Oh, really? Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm like, you know my saying, I know you lying. I know you lying. So I just had to do some research. So obviously we know, we go back and we know that these TikTok social media influencers went to DC, met in the Oval Office with Biden and Obama. Obama was there too. Really? They all up in the White House, John getting the selfies with the Obama and everything, posting it all. I can't believe I'm so nervous. I'm with Obama. He's just he's just another Midwest Negro like the rest of them. He ain't nothing special. Like, let's keep that shit G. Right? Let's keep it all the way G. He's just another Midwest Negro that was happened to be born in Hawaii that may have had a birth certificate in Kenya. I don't know. I can't verify that. I ain't never seen it with my own eyes, but I'm just telling you, he's just some other typical Midwest Negro. But anyway, I digress. So they're doing the selfie thing and the whole 9 yards or what have you, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now they out here making videos, right? Now, here's what's interesting. The trip to DC and the setup of this whole TikTok thing was set up with with an individual by the name of Daniel Dax. Okay. Yeah. He is the founder of Palette, which is a talent management firm. The DNC actually contacted Dax because he had previously organized influencer efforts in the 2020 Biden campaign. Mm-hmm. So, but we ain't paid by no DNC. They supposedly had done this for free, right? So one of the guys that's with Harry Sisson, right? His name is Chris Mowry, right? Mm-hmm. Well, his email address is chrismowry@palettemanagement.com.
Oh, about that.
No, it gets better. It gets better. The other guy, Harry Sisson, aka typical Democrat, right? Uh-huh. On his LinkedIn profile, it's public. It's out here, as we like to say, right? It's out here.
It's
right?
out here.
Mm-hmm. Check it out. He is a content creator for Palette Management since October 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Oh no, wait. Oh no. We ain't done. Oh no.
No. We're not done at all because I've got a little interesting tidbit on this too.
No, watch this. Mm-hmm. Now, I happen to go to the FEC website.
Okay.
I went to the FEC website, right? And I was like, I wonder if they're lying because DNC, right? They're a 501c4 organization.
Oh.
Right, because that's how they're political. They can't be C3 and be political. They got to be C4. Yeah. They got to be C4. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's rock with this a second. Mm-hmm. Then I look, Democratic National Committee, paid media, $200,000. DNC online advertising, Palette Media, $10,000. Mm-hmm. Y'all ain't paid by the DNC though, huh? Y'all ain't paid by Democrats. You doing this on your own volition, huh? I'm just like, come on, what? Why? And here's the thing:
we're paid by Palette Media, who is paid by the DNC.
Same difference. Yeah. Same difference.
Same
right?
difference. It's
right?
The same damn money.
But see, here's the thing, right? Why are our Republican friends calling this out for what this is?
Well, I'd also like to point out the fact that there is an office in the White House.
Yes.
For these media influencers.
100%. They can come in and get their talking points and come back and do videos.
Yep, they sure can. So that's basically return in kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. But here's the thing, right? And here's the problem. And here's the problem, right? Mm-hmm. And again, right? Obviously I'm not disgusted by this because this is politics, right?
Yeah, it's normal.
Right? But here's the thing, right? Mm-hmm. This is just my opinion, right? And well, it's more of my opinion, but it is partially factual. Let me say it like that. There's merit to it. Republicans for how long? Right? Right? Mm-hmm. Kept saying, "Oh, it's the boomers' fault," and then they attacked Gen Z for being stupid. Now, hold that thought a second. So I'm gonna come back to that. Right. So, you know the left and their manipulation tactics, right? Mm-hmm. They always take things out of complete context and spin a narrative off it and mislead you into it being a fact when they didn't give you all the context. They're pros at that. This is that situation right now. Republicans cannot counter. They can't counter this. There's no way. Because they would have to fly the virtue signal flag, and they don't want to be virtue signalers, right? They get their own quote unquote paid conservative content creators to promote the Republican Party, right?
Well, and the fact that the Republicans don't want to have anything to do with TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they kind of screwed themselves on this.
But here's the thing, right? And this is something I need people to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Biden sat right there the other day, right?
Yeah.
Biden sat there the other day, and this man how disgusting this is, but Biden sat right here and said that the children of the country basically do not belong to you.
Yeah. They belong to all of us. Okay, then all of us better start paying the bills.
It's not even that though. It's not. When I heard that, it for me, it was straight cringe.
Yeah. But this is not the first Democrat who said this. Hillary Clinton, it takes a village. Michelle Obama, it takes a village.
Yeah.
Now you've got him saying they belong to all of us?
Uh-huh.
Now, come on, dude. Unless you're going to pony up with some cash to pay for the food and the clothing and the housing and the education of these kids, you might want to sit down. Because they're not all of our kids. They belong to the parents. Even the teachers cannot claim ownership of these kids. And I'm sick and tired of hearing that one as well from teachers. Well, there are children too. No, I don't co-parent with a teacher. Sorry. You don't have any options. You're there to teach them how to read, write, and do math. You're there to teach them history and social studies, along with civics and economics. You are not there to be their parent or their buddy. And I'm sick and tired of hearing that. This whole subject just, when I heard him say that, it literally torqued me off to no end. It wasn't just cringe to me. This is one of those lines in the sand for me that you don't cross. No politician has a say in how I raise my child. Well, no teacher has a say in how I raise my child. Well, and the minute they start encroaching on that particular territory is the minute they get their asses handed to them.
Here's the thing, right? When he said that, right, and you know, most of you know my extensive knowledge on fascism and what that actually looks like, and you know that whole bit, right?
Yeah.
And I came over here and I opened up. I knew I had heard something similar to this before, right? And I opened up, and my first mind said, you know, go to the letters of FDR. So I opened up my book of the letters and memories of FDR. Wasn't in there. I was close. So I'm like, there's somebody said something about children.
Yeah.
Right? And then I opened up Mein Kampf.
Yes. Bingo.
There it was. It was. Adolf Hitler said the state must declare the child to be the most precious treasure of the people. As long as the government is perceived as working for the benefit of the children, the people will happily endure almost any curtailment of liberty and almost any deprivation. That's what he said in Mein Kampf.
Why do you think that every time the gun control issue comes up, why do you think they keep bringing it back to the children?
Because people will do anything to protect their children. I mean,
agreed. That's what I'm pointing out. Is people will do anything to protect their kids. Okay,
I mean, look what Mao did. Look what Mao did. Right at the Great Leap Forward. Right. Yeah. Look at what he did. They said, "Oh, your children Oh, your children. Oh, your children.
Yes.
People said, "Oh, I got to protect my children," and they went through a famine because they used the tool of the children.
Yes.
Right. To get at them. Right. They did the same thing with the. Huh?
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing with the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Every single fascist state, every single communist state has done the same exact thing. It goes back to the same playbook.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not a new game plan. This has been tried and true for them as to how to take control.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, right? Let's apply that to the United States, right?
Yeah.
Is not the children see what they've done in the United States is a double whammy, right? They're going after your children through education. And then they're using the impressionable, uneducated, right? And mind you, Gen Zers out there, do not come for me if you want to. You're not going to like the end result if you come for me, right?
Exactly.
But I'm going to state to you historical fact, right? When they started tearing the trade schools, the trade programs out of high schools in the 70s, they tore them down out of every single school, not just the black schools. They tore them out the white schools and the Hispanic, the predominantly Hispanic. They tore them out nationwide. Why?
And it continued into the 80s because I know Brian, when he graduated, they had a trade school there at his high school.
Right.
And it continued until like 87 or 88 when they took it out. Right.
So as they continue to take out these trade schools, they started replacing the trade schools with these liberal arts types, college type programs. Like, for example, African American history, African American studies is a product that came after these trade schools, right? You had some computer science that came into the schools at that time. Right, you had all of that coming in at the time, but like I said, by the mid to late 80s, the trades were gone out of the schools and they were placed in what's called skill centers. Well, you had to have a particular grade to get into the skill centers to go pick up these trades, which is very few in between. Right now, with that being said, as they infused all this stuff in there, right, Gen Xers, right. We lucked out because we ended up catching the tail end of the skills that were available in the schools, and we didn't fall for the liberal arts indoctrination. Yep. Here comes here comes the millennials, right? That has it full-fledged in their face, and then now they've given birth to Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
The elder millennials and the late Gen Xers have given birth to these Gen Zers that have had the full on education indoctrination, and now we see them out here doing videos literally like robots, saying things like robots. Right? Look at the David Hoggs of the world.
Oh God!
Right?
Yeah.
That these 20-somethings that has never lived any type of life, but want to dictate to grown-ass folks like us about guns, right? And I tell these Gen Zers real quick, I say, until you've been shot at or been in a situation you've had to wield a gun, right? As I say, you little privileged asses, right, don't have a clue about any of this, because some people, right, like me, did some things in his teenage years, right, to protect himself. You know what I'm saying? And if there's been times I probably wouldn't have been here. That's straight up. But these 20-year-old kids with these silver spoons in their mouths think they can solve everything when it comes to gun violence. No, Ben, let me tell you something. That gun on me saved me. Yeah, it was illegal for me to carry it at the time, yes. But that gun is what saved me. There are too
many people out there that don't understand that, though. They don't understand that particular mindset because they've never had to deal with it.
No, they come from hoity-toity Parkland. They come from Parkland. And it's like, man, let me put your ass in West Palm Beach. let me put you at Riviera Beach, man. Let's see how quick you get out of Dodge.
Yep.
Huh?
It just fascinates me that nobody is really looking into what is being said by our politicians. They're looking at the bills. They're looking at the legislation, okay? Mm-hmm. But they're not paying any attention to the commentary that goes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we have a president who is 80 years old. He put out an ad in the middle of the night, did not actually make an announcement that he was running for president. He put out an advertisement. Then he called a lid on the day.
Yeah. That's right.
So he wouldn't be called on to ask any questions or answer any questions. My money is saying that he is not going to be doing any debates because they don't want him to speak. Mm-hmm. He's no longer able to read a prompter. He's no longer able to read handwritten notes.
Wait, what's that term? Useful idiots? Oh, my bad. Did I say that out loud?
He's a meat puppet in the Oval Office.
Mm. Like I said,
you cannot run this campaign like you did during COVID. He's not going to be able to run it from the basement of the White House. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work that way.
Right, he ain't going to be able to run it with people stuffing envelopes for him, too, because that's on high alert, too, now.
Yeah.
That's on high alert, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's down here in South Florida, there's a lot of Democrats mad about that because there's a few groups that are sitting here. It's like, yeah, like we're organizing and we're going to have people staked out at the ballot boxes. We're going to have people staked out, armed and unarmed. And the Democrats down here are like, oh my, I can't believe he's going to bring. Look,
hey,
it's a public space, man. What you mean?
It's a public space and it's a free country.
Yeah.
Don't like it? Move to New York.
Oh, it's voter
to Los Angeles.
You know what they try to say, right? I actually commented on this when they put it on their forum on the on their website. I was like, look, how is it voter intimidation when they have already voted and sealed the ballot?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah.
How are you going to call voter intimidation?
You can't.
When it's already sealed. It's not that they can go back and change their vote. Oh, they're going to make me vote Republican. Once you seal that ballot, that's it. You unseal it, your ballot's no longer valid.
Exactly.
That's your dumb ass fault. Go take it to another box if you're that intimidated.
And if you're taking it to the box and it's not sealed, then you haven't actually voted.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can be tampered with.
Yep. Sorry. Like, nah. If our local officials are not going to do what they're supposed to do to secure elections and make sure people are following the rules, then guess what? Because again, right, those are our elections. Mm-hmm. Those aren't the municipal elections or the state's elections. Those are the people's elections, and we elect people to run them. And here again, right, if the people that we elect to run them are not making sure they're secure, then it is up to us, the people, to make sure they are secure, behest of anything else. And you know what? Here's the other thing. You get your sheriff on board. You get your sheriff. Let the sheriff know this is what we are going to do.
Yeah.
Right? And we need you to protect our rights as we do this. Because the person we elected to do this is not doing their job. That's it. Cut and dry.
Well, I'm very glad that South Carolina runs the elections the way they do. There's not a whole lot of ballot boxes sitting around. Mm-hmm. If you wanna vote early, you vote early, but you go down to the elections office to do it.
Right.
If you're going to send it in absentee, you send it in absentee.
Right.
But the only ballot drop-off box is in the elections office.
Right. That's right. They're not willy-nilly all around across town. And that's the other thing, right? And that we keep hearing when we talk about these elections, and we got the GOP is removing boxes and that they're trying to influence the vote. Well, I'm sorry. Everybody that we never had a problem with people getting up to vote before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you actually, and that was during the time, oh God, honey, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whenever, especially black people and minorities, women too, went to vote, what did they face? They did face voter intimidation.
Yes, they did, 100%.
They faced guns at the polls. They faced people willing to beat them in order to keep them from voting.
Hell, poll taxes.
Poll taxes. Hell, tests of all kinds.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's one of those things where people today think it's intimidating to have to get an ID. What kind of idiocy is that?
You know, and that's why I don't like arguing with people when they bring that up. So it's like, if you drive a car, if you have a job, you have an ID.
If you get any social services at all.
Well, I mean,
if you go in to buy alcohol, if you go in to buy tobacco, if you go into a library, if you go to get Social Security, if you go to get disability, if you go to buy anything, and they ask for ID with your debit card or your check card or whatever you're using, a lot of people will ask for ID, and if you don't have it, guess what? You don't get to buy it.
Yep. That's it. That's why I don't even argue with people when it comes down to that, because for me, it's just outright stupid.
Yeah,
it's
it is
outright stupid. Speaking of elections, right? Did you hear about what happened in North?
No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, I was reading a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, the North Carolina Supreme Court struck down the quote unquote partisan gerrymandering. By Republican lawmakers. First of all, I hate the word gerrymandering because it is so overused and misunderstood.
It is.
It's a word to gaslight you. Like, oh my God, I can't believe they're cheating. See, gerrymandering, it was the early form of cheating, and then they figured out how to outright cheat and then tell you they weren't cheating.
Yeah.
But they use gerrymandering. Oh my God, it's gerrymandering. I cannot believe it. But it's exactly right.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
because go ahead.
Well, the thing is they want this to go to the Supreme Court. And I can't say I blame them. But I don't think it's going to get the results that everybody wants.
First of all, the Supreme Court will look at it on a shadow docket and send it back down. Like, no, this is a state matter.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
It's a state matter through and through. I mean, Marbury versus Madison makes that clear. Like,
yes,
how do you go against that precedent? Oh no, we're just going to do this. And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing, right? Here's the funny thing. It would be evil, but it would be right. Right? If the Democrats were so worried about these elections, right? If they were so worried about these cockamamie elections, right? They would repeal Marbury versus Madison.
Oh, that would be evil, wouldn't it?
Well, like,
yeah, it would.
Let's really, because remember, those of you that don't know, Marbury versus Madison initiated judicial review.
Yes, it did.
Right? So they can adjudicate federal election cases. They won't touch the state ones because, again, the 10th Amendment sends it back to the state. You can't do anything about that. Yeah. But like the 2020 election, so they would rather pay off the judiciary to not listen to it instead of just repealing Marbury versus Madison to take them out the mix.
And the thing is the North Carolina Supreme Court is now Republican controlled. Okay, now they did reverse previous rulings that were handed down when the state Supreme Court was Democratic. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What they're saying now, and I'm going to give you the statement that they gave. Mm-hmm. Our Constitution expressly assigns the redistricting authority to the General Assembly subject to explicit limitations in the text.
Right.
Those limitations do not address partisan gerrymandering. It is not within the authority of this court to amend the Constitution to create such limitations on a responsibility that is textually assigned to another branch.
Correct. That is exactly correct. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What that opinion basically described is the separation of powers, the division of powers. That's exactly what that described. But many so-called statist Democrats and Republicans alike don't get that because, again, right, they want to shift the whim of the court in their favor to get what they want. And it's like, that is exactly correct. That opinion is exactly correct. Whatever the text says, the text says. The General Assembly can pass a law to change it. It's not up to the judiciary to change it. And they also reversed the 2018 voter ID law, speaking of voter ID, in North Carolina.
Nice.
So, like, I mean, but that's, again, right, that's a no-brainer. This stuff, like, here's the funny thing, right? And I'm kind of sidebarring the conversation so I can kind of go into the side a little bit, right? When I hear these people say we live in a constitutional democratic republic, I want to slap them 3 ways to Sunday with Aunt Jemima's syrup on my hand almost dried up.
Make it stick, right?
Yeah, I want it to stick, like that gymnast Simone, how she sticks her landings. I want my hand to stick on they. Oh, God. I want you to remember this because you can't have that's the most oxymoronic combination of words I've ever heard in my life. How do you have a constitutional democratic republic? How the fuck does that work?
You don't. It's like everybody keeps screaming, oh, our democracy, our democracy. We don't have a democracy. We have a constitutional republic. Get over it.
Yeah. It's supposed to be individual rights, not the rights of the majority. Like, don't play with me.
We don't have any rights listed in the Bill of Rights that are communal rights.
Right.
They are individual rights. Mm-hmm. And the one, and we're going to go back to the gun thing a minute. The one that everybody gets wrong is the fact that the Second Amendment does not address the community. It addresses the individual.
Correct.
Just because it says militia in it does not mean what you think it means.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we just can't breeze past what the whole ass Second Amendment says. Just you want to pick out a couple of words in there. I mean, but see, that's the thing, right? This is how they do with our Constitution. Like let me say the Second Amendment, right? Mm-hmm. The second. I can't even talk right now. So the Second Amendment, right? A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Yep. The right of the people. That is the individual.
Yep. And who's the militia? Come on now. We talked about who the militia is.
We all are.
Yeah, we are the militia because we are the government. It's not the other way. And here's what's funny, speaking of that, and we'll go back to where we were, is that this is why our military is top heavy.
Yeah, it is.
You have too many chiefs and no Indians.
Yeah. Oh, especially now.
Because it's the same doctrine that these people use when they interpret the Constitution. It's got to be top heavy. Everything up top's got to be top heavy, right? Nope. It's the same thing when we're talking about, again, right, the real due process clause in the Fifth Amendment, right? And people talk about the Second Amendment and red flag laws. I'm sorry, due process.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sorry. You can't go take people's shit, right, without due process of the law.
Yeah. I mean, you have a right to be secure in your personal items, not just your papers. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, but my guns are my personal items.
Yeah.
Hands off. Mm-hmm. Unless I have actually committed a crime, you have no reason to touch my firearms. Period.
Right.
Sorry.
That's exactly correct. But see, that's a problem. People read our Constitution, and they read it from a sense of a top down mentality instead of a bottom up mentality.
Yeah.
Right?
The thing is our government was supposed to be streamlined. It was supposed to be small. It was supposed to be agile. It was supposed to work for the people. Unfortunately, now it's so busy trying to rig the system against the people that it no longer works. It's so far outside the bounds of the Constitution as it was written and as it's been amended that it's not even funny. I mean, we can't. Okay, a real good example is it, and I know you've heard this statement too. Just walking outside your front door, you're breaking 3 federal laws.
Right.
Every single day. Mm-hmm. How is that possible if we have a small and limited government?
That's exactly correct. It's not. We're not even on a small and limited government, right? It's the fact that the federal government has overreached into local government. That's where we're at, right? It's not even the expansion; it's the allowance of the federal government to reach into your locality to do these things, right? And
it's not just that it's reached into the local government; it's reached into your own home,
right?
Citizens,
right? That's exactly correct.
So I mean that gets down to the deepest part of local government, which is the individual citizen of the United States,
right?
That's where it really bothers me, and it should bother all of us, because the federal government has no business being there.
Nope. But they seem to find themselves in that fray.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
And now we can't get them out, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Hydra, right? Once a Hydra's tentacles is in something, it's hard to get it out. It's hard to pry it out.
You can only cut off so many heads. And the fact of the matter is the Hydra, once you take 1, 2 grow back.
Yep.
And that's exactly what's happened with the federal government. You take one little part of it out, and 2 more parts grow back in immediately.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's exactly right.
And they're more vicious than the one you killed.
I mean, look. I mean, let's take this. We got to go pay bills real quick, but let's take this 8th Amendment for example, right? Let's take this 8th Amendment thing, right? Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted.
Yeah.
I want to focus on the nor cruel or unusual punishment inflicted, right?
Okay.
And I was thinking about this the other day. Right? And I was thinking about the reach of the executive authority of the United States, right? And how the executive authority of the United States can literally either make you disappear or be unalived without any just cause. Right? I want people to really think about what I'm saying here. Yeah. Right? And look, I'm going to put this all the way out there. These IRS agents that are going to be armed, coming to your door over the fact you may not have paid $700, they have guns. These people will gun you down over $700 if you don't comply. I want y'all. I'm sorry, 8th Amendment, nor cruel and unusual punishment. But go ahead.
I also have to look at it. It's not just the fact that they would gun you down for it. It's also the fact that they can tie you up in litigation for decades.
Yep, they sure can.
And bankrupt you, which is also cruel and unusual punishment.
Yes, it is. And it also violates the 6th Amendment, the right to a speedy trial.
Does. Yep.
Right? But for them, speedy is within the confines of what they're working with, right?
Yeah. To them, speedy is whenever the hell they get around to it.
Yeah. But this is what a progressive interpretation of the Constitution has gotten us, right? And yes, Republicans, y'all need to own this shit because it was Theodore Roosevelt that started this shit. Republicans, y'all have to admit this and understand where the progressivism came from and the progressive interpretation. Because the last true president that interpreted the Constitution correctly was Grant.
Yeah, he was.
He was the last one to interpret the Constitution and use his powers of the Constitution correctly. But then we have to talk about the Organic Act of 1871 and the Corporation of the United States being instituted in 1872, this, that, and the third. But we have to look at this whole thing holistically and not jump over all these different parts of moving history and how to, especially how the Constitution is being interpreted, because these people have progressively read your rights out of the Constitution and gave them to themselves and left you absolvent of any recourse to get them back.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, this is how they were able to get away with Jim Crow.
Yeah.
They said, well shit. Go ahead.
Look at what they're getting away with now.
Yeah.
It's damn near as bad.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, the most current one, right? The mifepristone, right?
Yeah.
Why did that judge in Texas hold up mifepristone? And I know, look, people, I know my pro-abortion folks, you know, they're gonna feel some type of way about that, but you got to hear this the way it's supposed to be said, right? That judge had no right to do that. He is not in any authority to technically hold that up.
No, he's not.
He was not supposed to be able to do that, these injunctions. But guess what happened? The misuse of Marbury versus Madison, right? And how, right? And how the progressives use Marbury versus Madison to push through cases. Watch this. To push through cases like Terry v. Ohio.
Yeah.
Right? To push through cases like Pennsylvania versus Mims, Martinez versus Chula Vista. Right? Progressive interpretation of the Constitution created a police state, and now the legislative branches uses the judiciary to rein in bad opinion or bad laws.
Yeah.
Right? This Dobbs decision that just dropped last year.
Yeah.
Well, the year before. Yeah, year before. Yeah. Was it? No, year before. Yeah,
no,
last year.
Last year.
Okay, God, I can't keep up. There's so much crap.
I know, right?
Literally put the judiciary on reset.
Yeah, it did.
Because the progressive interpretation of the due process clause of the 14th Amendment was thrown out the window. See, this is what these progressives were worried about, right? They weren't worried about the due process clause in the 5th. They was worried about the due process clause in the 14th, because they know that they bastardized the 14th Amendment to really the 14th Amendment. The way the progressives have interpreted it has destroyed this country.
Yes, it has. It
has destroyed it almost beyond repair, right? And God, they keep dinging me to get off and pay bills, but I just y'all can hear me. Give me 2 more minutes, and I will pay bills.
We promise. I honestly, we promise.
But here's the thing, right? When they interpreted the citizenship clause in Wong Kim Ark, Kim, right? And knowing the 14th Amendment was only for the freedmen and the Confederate soldiers that fought against the Union, that's what the 14th Amendment was for. It wasn't for anything else. Yes. When they interpreted that, then they took the due process clause and claimed privacy out of the due process clause in the 14th Amendment, which privacy comes from the 4th. Right. Yes. But see how they intertwined that. And there's a couple of decisions on the black court that made that happen. Right now, we're looking at Roe v. Wade in its face, and they're using the Freedmen's Amendment to declare life, liberty, and property and privacy and due process out of that. And then Roe took that away from them. This is why right now, and I had to think about that a minute, this is why they're mad at Clarence Thomas. Because Clarence Thomas has been saying this the whole time. And now
most conservative judges have, but he's been very vocal about it.
So that's why they're going after him.
Yeah.
And Chief Roberts, you're doing the right thing by not showing up to that Senate hearing about ethics. You're doing the right thing. You are protecting your justices like you're supposed to.
Absolutely.
Because they're trying to make a circus out of this. and try to gain their progressive power back on the court in the progressive interpretation of the Constitution so they can continue to oppress the citizens of the United States and the citizens of the states thereof of their property, which is their money ultimately. That is their ultimate goal, to oppress you and take your property away from you using the same tool they're supposed to abide by and not cross over and then turn on spinning it on you and taking your money. Anyway, we got to pay bills real quick. So you already know what to do.
Yes, sir.
Get your cheese, wine, and crackers out. Do the whole thing. And when we come back, we got a couple more things to talk about real quick. And then we're going to open up the phone lines. Go ahead and write it down now. 563-999-1708. 563-999-1708. And when we open the phone lines up, I want to be overwhelmed with phone calls, but we'll be back on Southern Liberty here in 6.
I'm Lauren Simonetti, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks ending higher for the day, week, and month, boosted by strong earnings from U.S. companies. Though inflation data signaled expectations for another interest rate hike by the Fed. The Dow rising 272 points, the Nasdaq up 84, S&P 500 up 34. And shares of troubled lender First Republic moving deeper into the red, falling 43% as uncertainty mounts about its future. And Amazon stock falling 4% despite the e-commerce giant delivering a strong first quarter earnings report. However, the company warned of slowing growth of its cloud computing business, and Colgate-Palmolive stock popping after the consumer goods company posted better than expected first quarter earnings that were boosted by higher prices. An Intel stock a Dow winner after the chipmaker topped analyst forecast for the quarter and said that the company's data center business was improving. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Aviators grounded. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. For one day next month, the Army is ordering all its aviation units to take a training course after a total of 12 soldiers died in crashes in the past month. The latest deadly crash last night in Alaska.
The collision took place between Anchorage and Fairbanks. The helicopters were based at Fort Wainwright near Fairbanks. The commanding general of the 11th Airborne Division, Major General Brian Eifler, saying in a statement, quote, "This is an incredible loss for these soldiers' families, their fellow soldiers, and for the division. The Fort Wainwright community is one of the tightest military communities I've seen in my 32 years of service. I have no doubt they will pull together during this exceptional time of need and provide comfort to our families of our fallen."
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. A large group of Americans in Sudan is being moved by bus out of Sudan as the fighting in the capital of Khartoum intensifies. It's the first organized evacuation of Americans out of the country. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation is preparing to put First Republic Bank into receivership. That's according to Reuters, as a report is out on why another California bank failed.
Bank regulators at the Federal Reserve are also taking and assigning blame for the failure of Silicon Valley Bank. Michael Barr, the Fed's vice chair for supervision, wrote SVB, quote, "failed because of a textbook case of mismanagement by the bank. Its senior leadership failed to manage basic interest rate and liquidity risk. Its board of directors failed to oversee senior leadership and hold them accountable. And Federal Reserve supervisors failed to take forceful enough action."
Fox's Rich Edson at the White House. The Government Accountability Office says airlines themselves are responsible for a rising percentage of canceled flights more often than before the pandemic, when bad weather was the most common problem. It says most of the increase in flight cancellations during the travel recovery has been due to things that airlines can control. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's what's trending now. You can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything they need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/Fox. That's netsuite.com/Fox.
The search is on in Minneapolis for a man suspected of setting fires that damaged 2 mosques.
Police in Minneapolis say 36-year-old Jackie Little was caught on surveillance footage entering the Mercy Islamic Center Monday, carrying a bag with a gas can inside. A short time later, a staff member spotted a fire near offices that was extinguished. Little's also accused in another fire Sunday night at a bathroom of the mosque in the 24 Somali Mall. Worshippers put out that fire. Little's now wanted on arson charges in connection to the alleged attacks, for which police don't yet have a motive. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The Kentucky Supreme Court has overturned lower court rulings that allowed leaders in Louisville to remove a Confederate statue from a prominent location 3 years ago. The 6-1 ruling said Louisville violated due process in getting approval to remove the John Breckinridge Castleman Monument from Cherokee Triangle. The statue was vandalized several times over a few years before it was removed from its pedestal in June 2020, following a decision from Louisville's Landmarks Commission. Larger, heavier trucks on America's roads may play a part in pedestrian deaths.
Trucks are more prevalent than ever in the U.S., and some point to that as part of the reason for an uptick in pedestrian deaths. Federal crash numbers show that overall, vehicles struck and killed more than 7,300 pedestrians in 2021, compared to just 4,300 in 2010. That's an increase of more than 70%. The Hill reports that the number of pedestrians killed by light-duty utility trucks more than doubled in that same time frame, from 732 to 1,773. In 2021, nearly 80% of vehicle sales and leases in the U.S. were of trucks, which now outnumber cars in every state. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Wall Street, the Dow gained 272. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Do you want to know what's trending now? You can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. No payments and no interest for 6 months. This is a big deal. NetSuite by Oracle has never made an offer like this in its 22 years as the leading cloud financial system. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything they need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity across every department. In fact, almost 90% of finance leaders agree that NetSuite helps them reduce manual data entry time. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/Fox. That's netsuite.com/Fox. netsuite.com/Fox.
Welcome back, Southern Liberty. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us for the first hour of this whole thing. I guess that worked out kind of spectacular. We'll go right into the second hour and go on the phone calls in about 30 minutes and do the things. Wrap this sucker up with a bow on top. Hey. But anyway, hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Those y'all in South Florida from Citrus County all the way down south listening on the public radio airways. Appreciate y'all. Those y'all listening on the internet in Florida, thank you. Those y'all in Southeast Georgia from Camden County, Glenn County, Ware County, Glenn County, all that area right there, Thomasville. Appreciate y'all. Those y'all in Utah, y'all already know I love you. You know y'all, I love you. And everybody around the world that's listening on the internet right now, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all for taking a little bit of time out of your day to come through like Kung Fu, as I like to say.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully y'all enjoyed your cheese, wine, and crackers, because you're probably going to need some popcorn for this next one. You remember that movie Rust that they were filming out of New Mexico? You remember that?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, and Alec Baldwin happened to shoot that Hutchins girl.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know Alec Baldwin. He's sitting here all like, "Oh, I can't believe I shot her," and you know what they did, right? You want to watch this? I'm gonna play the card just because it's funny and it's their playbook, right? I'm going in. Y'all mind me a minute. I'm going into the left's playbook a second. I'm going to the left's playbook. Ready? Y'all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Alec Baldwin's white and elite privilege got him out of being charged for killing that woman. Instead, they scapegoated the armorer.
Yeah.
They scapegoated the armorer. Like, wait a minute. Wait. Wait a minute.
Now, well, and one of the things that was said by the attorneys is that they're investigating further. There may still be charges against him, but they've dropped the charges currently so that they can further investigate. Yeah, right. Pull the other one. It's got bells on, y'all.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing when it comes to that whole thing, right? And here's the other part of that privilege, right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Massey killed Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Right? On the Crow, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, there was no charges because it was accidental. They didn't scapegoat the armorer, right? They didn't scapegoat the armorer, right? Oh, it was accidental. It's a fragment of bullet in there and whatever, right?
Yeah.
They didn't charge him, right? They didn't charge the armorer in that case. So what are we going to do? We're going to go back and find Malcolm Massey now? We're going to go back and find this man and charge him with the death of Brandon Lee and the armorer on the set with the death of Brandon Lee. Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm sorry. If you're gonna drop charges against Baldwin, drop them against the armorer as well. The fact that there were live rounds on that set was a problem for everyone, and they all knew it. And Baldwin had responsibility over that set as the producer.
Well, it's not even that. Here's the thing, right? And this is why I hate these anti-Second Amendment fucking knuckleheads. Excuse my language, Jesus. I hate these knuckleheads because
I know, right?
Anybody know if you own a firearm, right, and you take a firearm from somebody, what is the first thing you do?
You check it. Treat every firearm as if it's loaded.
Thank you.
Every single one. And the fact of the matter is, oh, well, it accidentally went off. No, this is a single action revolver. You have to pull the trigger. You have to cock it back, the hammer back, and you have to pull the trigger in order for it to go off.
Yes. But even then, he had a responsibility to make sure the round in that revolver was not a live round. Yeah, it does not matter. That does not excuse him, right? His ignorance on guns and gun handling does not excuse him. Actually, I think it's worse on him because he's such an anti-gun person. It should be worse on him because he's even handling the gun in the first place.
Yeah.
If you are that anti-gun, don't pick up the goddamn gun.
If you are that anti-gun, it is the height of hypocrisy to use guns on a movie set. Sorry. And I think this was God's way of saying, son, you're a hypocrite. And you just killed a woman because you were stupid.
Yeah. But I bet you they'll continue their action movies out of Hollywood because it's the biggest seller. Right.
Okay, but you look at movies like John Wick. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all CGI.
Yep.
They're not using live rounds at all.
Nope.
They're not using rounds at all. It's all CGI. Yes, the gun handling is real, and he did go out to ranges in that and was taught how to use firearms, and he was taught very well. So was Halle Berry. Okay.
Yep.
Everybody who was on that set knows how to handle firearms, and they know how to handle them safely. But the actual firing in the movie itself is all CGI.
Right. That's right. So again, right? Do you fault the armorer for quote unquote live rounds on the set? I mean, there should be some sort of accountability there. How far that goes, I don't know.
Yeah. It should be the production company and the armorer as far as live rounds on the set.
Right.
But as far as the final responsibility for checking that firearm before he started playing with it, he should have checked it. I don't care if someone hands it to you and says it's cold. It doesn't matter. You always check it.
Yep.
There are three rules. Okay? Yep. You can break one and get away with it. You cannot break all three, and he did. The first rule, treat every gun as if it's loaded.
Right.
Okay? Second rule, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot.
Right.
Third rule, keep it pointed in a safe direction at all times, away from people.
Yep. And that also
guess what, folks? He broke all three.
Yep, and that also includes knowing what's beyond the target, or what's beyond your barrel, what is in the distance behind that. That also is included in that third rule.
Exactly. Because look, even a 22 can travel over a mile on flat ground.
Yep. Sure can.
So, it's one of those things where if you're not going to use them safely, don't use them at all. And if you don't know what the rules are, don't touch them. And he doesn't know what the rules are because he's an idiot.
But here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing, and this is just quote unquote rumor mill, but I love playing in the rumor mill portion of this.
Every now and then, sure.
Right. So the lady that was killed, Hauna Hutchins, right?
Yeah.
You know that she was Ukrainian, right?
Yes.
You know that she was pro-Russia, right?
No, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. From what I hear on the down low, she was pro-Russia. But she wasn't outspoken like social media with it. The concern she had was that her family was trapped.
Yeah.
But I'm like, ain't that interesting?
That is interesting.
The fact that she may have been pro-Putin. And then all of a sudden, pew, pew. Like, it was almost like an assassination attempt. Like, I'm just saying, I'm speculating, y'all. I'm speculating.
That is pure speculation.
But I'm just saying.
That's not suspicious at all.
Out of all the movies they do with actually handling firearms, and it just so happened on this. Like, I'm sorry. I do not believe in coincidence no more.
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Every little action has intent. The only demographic of individuals that get the grace of coincidence is children. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about children that are early adolescents, early to late adolescents, not teenage children. I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? Because they can screw up and say, oh, they don't know what they're doing. But teenagers can be very calculated. I mean, come on, Columbine. Need I say more? Right?
Yeah. Right.
And adults have an agenda. What? Weather Underground? Did I say that out loud too? I'm just saying, there's nothing, no coinky-dinky or coincidental. It's right here in your face. The question is, can you potentially connect the dots? I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's rather interesting.
Because really, if you want to be honest, here's like for Alec Baldwin. Like, if you're going to charge the armorer with like third degree murder, second degree murder, I think it's third degree murder. I think they're charging her with.
Yeah, I think it's third degree.
Right. Then you need to charge Alec Baldwin with wanton endangerment.
Yeah. And that I think that would be probably closer to it. Reckless endangerment.
You could do reckless too, but wanton endangerment.
But wanton would be better because it's one of those things where, because he was handling it, because he did not pay any attention to any safety rules or regulations.
Correct.
It's more wanton than reckless.
Right, because he could have easily shot himself.
Yes, he could have. Oh, absolutely.
Right. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care. Here's the thing. I don't care if the gun is unloaded.
Yeah.
Right? You don't put that barrel. You have to get into the habit of not pointing that barrel at you or anything that can cause harm to, because you're going to end up one day, you might pick up that, violate rule number 1, act like the gun's loaded, and you say, oh, click, pow. And
look.
Right?
There are all kinds of firearms instructors who have done that.
Uh-huh.
Especially police officers
Yep.
who have done that in front of classes.
Yep.
And shot themselves in the leg or shot themselves in the foot or in the hand because they crossed the barrel with their hand.
Yep.
It's one of those things where, you really have to be. It is a tool, and it can be deadly, just like a chainsaw. You don't put your hand on a chainsaw blade while it's running, do you?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly right. It's like what's my other expression? Running with scissors.
Yeah, right.
You don't run with scissors. You don't run with scissors.
I definitely don't. I'm clumsy.
I'm just saying.
Hell, I don't walk with scissors. Are you kidding me?
You put it in your pocket. You're like, I'm putting it in my pocket. Screw this. We good.
Yeah, right.
We good.
No. I have a pair of scissors that I have for sewing and that are so sharp that they have a cap on them, so I don't stab myself with them. Because they're that sharp. They are that sharp. But you got to have them that way if you want.
Right.
Yeah. Wanton recklessness, negligent homicide. Because I could see the negligence there, particularly on the part of the production company, and I would sue the hell out of the production company too, not just him personally.
Right. Well, we got one more thing on hand, and we open our phone lines.
Sure.
12 Democrats and 8 Republicans. Bipartisan support is bipartisan. Oh my God, it's bipartisan. Oh my God. They're actually working together. Oh, in harmony. Right? Red and blue in harmony. Oh my God, did I go there? Oh
yes, you did.
Oh,
yes,
God,
you did.
Yeah, red and blue living in harmony. Yeah, they actually passed a resolution to.
It's just one big purple government, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They came together to pass a resolution to restart the tariffs on solar power imports that were suspended by the Biden administration, and that huge slew of executive orders he signed at the beginning of his presidency. Mm-hmm. And Biden said, basically, if it gets to my desk, I'm vetoing it. Well, bitch, it's veto proof, bitch. You can veto all you want to. This shit's in full effect.
Yeah.
It's game over. It's game over for you, Biden. You say, I'm going to veto. Well, then you're going to come to vote, and same people going to vote for it. Like, nah, we're good.
We're good.
What you said?
We'll ride your veto, no problem.
What you said, Mr. President? Oh. You got any further words, Mr. President? Oh, okay. Go have a seat. Go have a seat, boo. Yeah. Go have a seat.
Yeah. I mean, he signed the order in June 2022 to free Southeast Asian countries from new tariffs on solar panels for 2 years, a move that was meant to bolster the solar industry during a Commerce Department investigation into whether Southeast Asian nations were being used to circumvent tariffs on Chinese solar companies. It pertained to certain solar imports from Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Gee, I wonder if China was actually sending them through those countries to avoid tariffs. You think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where let's stop pussyfooting around. I like the idea of having the tariffs back on. I really do.
For those products, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Definitely for sure. And it kind of puts a stunt on their agenda, right?
Yeah,
it kind of puts a stunt on their agenda we got to have all EV vehicles by 2030. Nah, it's 2023, bit. Not 7 years. You're not getting every car off the road. You're not getting every car off the road that's gas powered. That's going to take you almost a century.
Well, did you hear Jennifer Granholm?
Oh, God.
Oh, we want to have all U.S. stateside military vehicles electric. Really? What are you going to do about Alaska, dummy?
You right. You right.
What are you going to do about Montana and North Dakota?
No. Forget that. No. Not even go there. Let's go back to Alaska.
Yeah.
Right? Let's talk about Coast Guard Station Barrow. Let's talk about Elmendorf.
Yep.
Right? What?
Yeah.
What? What? I can cry laughing.
I know, right?
Oh my God. Oh God.
It flat out amazes me. People are so blind by their own ambitions and by their own agendas that they don't see the forest for the trees. How do you miss that? What are you going to do about Alaska?
Oh, I got it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to do is have some massive batteries to harbor all the energy into reserve batteries that are bigger than the Titanic. And we're going
It'd have to be.
Right? We're going to have to plug these cars in every hour to make sure they're working appropriately. I'm like, what about the pollution?
Yeah.
Right? What about really, like, I'm sorry, noise pollution is a thing.
Yes, it is.
Right? I'm sorry, what? And not the, oh, God. It would be great during the summer. Yay!
Whoop-hoo!
Yeah, then you got literally 4 months, no daylight. What you doing?
Yeah. Well, and it's not just the no daylight thing. It's also the fact that, what are the distances and how cold does it get? I mean, because ain't nothing close in Alaska. You know, and when you're talking about electrical vehicles, I mean, you've got limited runs on them, and how cold does it get again? And batteries die in cold. It makes it impossible to charge them. So, you know.
We have to also understand that places, I mean, just think in Minnesota, North Dakota.
Yeah.
Right? They have to plug
Michigan, Wisconsin.
They have to plug their vehicles in, like your normal gas-powered vehicles, so their batteries can stay charged.
Yeah. Oh, hell, even Northern Illinois.
Yeah. Really?
Look, there are February's. It was, oh God, right around the time that Connor was born, just before he was born, as a matter of fact. The one February, 20 below was the high for 2 weeks solid. And we weren't even in Chicago. We were outside of Chicago. But yeah, I mean, people seem to think that, oh, it's an electric vehicle, it'll get me everywhere I need to go anytime I need to go. It doesn't work that way, honey. Batteries die in cold.
Yeah. DED.
And you know what? Replacing an electric vehicle battery, if you can replace it, try ponying up $10,000.
Yeah, how about no? Like, how about no? Like,
yeah, agreed.
Like, I don't really understand why these people decide that they feel like they're going to make the world that much better.
Well, we're
by
trying
making
to
everything
drop it 1 degree centigrade.
Huh?
We're trying to drop the global temperature 1 degree centigrade.
It's that utopian, the dystopian utopia they're selling Generation Z. That's how I look at it.
Well, and it's not just Generation Z. I mean, you look at who's heading it up. Some of the dumbest members of Gen X that I've ever met.
Ooh. Mm.
Well,
I need my Kofefe for this one. Mm.
Right? You look at it, okay? They want us to drop. They want the global temperature dropped by 1 degree centigrade. We're supposed to spend trillions of dollars to do that.
Uh-huh.
And we're sending that money to the UN, okay? But we're the only ones doing it. What about the rest of the world? What about China and Russia and Mexico? Right. Argentina, for crying out loud. India. What about the other countries that are polluting just as much, if not more, than America? Yet we're going to spend trillions of dollars on this? I don't think so. And now AOC puts forth her new Green Deal for $93 trillion. Are you kidding me with this?
93 trillion. I guess that's going to be all. I guess that's going to be all electrons, huh? It's going to be all electrons. Look, I'm going to get some electrons stirred up and create $97 trillion in electron currency.
Is that going to offset your carbon tax credits?
Oh, that carbon tax farce? Oh, God.
Uh-huh. Oh, trust me, that's going to be part of all of this. That's going to be part of every bit of this. They want carbon taxes. They want carbon tax credits. They want to measure your carbon footprint. You know what? You don't need to measure my carbon footprint.
Yep. Yep.
You know, it just... I am a carbon-based being. I have a carbon footprint. It's about a size 9. Leave it alone.
Right. Show you right. Show you right. Oh, boy. Hey, we're going to pop open them phone lines, though, for everybody. They come on through and ask the questions, all that good stuff. We're going to do the things. You know the number, 563-999-1708. Again, the number is 563-999-1708. Call in with your opinions, your questions, and commentaries on what we've talked about.
And give Rod's voice a break since he's over there choking on coffee.
Yeah, I'm choking on Kofefe. I'm choking on Kofefe. Mm-hmm. I'm here for the Kofefe.
I'm here for the Kofefe. Harry Belafonte passed this week.
Yes, Mr. Belafonte. Wow, that was,
he does one of our favorite songs.
Yes, he did.
That's really sad, but he lived a very long life, a very successful life.
Yes, he did. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, Mr. Belafonte. Yeah, them coconuts, man. Yeah, boy. Yep. All right, we got... Oh, and Jerry Springer passed, too. Don't forget Jerry.
He did. Jerry Springer passed.
Jerry. Hey, look, check this out. And I'm gonna need support from my Torch of Liberty Media family, my Southern Liberty family. I'm going to be the next Jerry. I want to do it. I want to do it on Rumble. Oh my God. I want to do it on Rumble. I want to be like, because look, Maury ain't in the game no more. Who else is going to tell you you're not the father? Who's going to tell? Right? Or who's going to tell them that? Oh, you're still a hoe. Right? Like, look.
I was kind of wondering if Dr. Phil was trying to step into that particular role, but no, he's not.
look, for real. Like, right, like, I'll do it. Right? Check this out. I would even satisfy a particular demographic. I would become trans for the show. I won't be.
Look, we get to get a tattoo for you.
Yes. I will identify as Jenny Springer.
Oh my God.
Right? And be like,
my God.
I'll be up there like, go ahead and tell them the truth. You slept with his brother and his cousin. You still a hoe.
Still a hoe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now tell him when he comes out here how you been hoeing.
Okay, now the 2 feet look is not going to be complete. Now you got to leave the beard on because you got scruff beard going. But we got to get you a long blonde wig and we got to get you some lipstick.
No,
you gotta have the complete look. If you're gonna go, you're gonna go.
No. I ain't doing no blonde hair.
You're gonna be Jenny.
No, I ain't doing no Jenny. Jenny can have black hair too. Don't play with me. I'll put the hot comb on it. Right, I put the hot comb on it, get straightened out. Shoot, call me Jenny Springer. I'm just saying, but look, we're trying to get up in that space and be like, yeah, we're gonna bring them all on, yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
You've been sleeping in the trailer next door with Billy Bob. What you doing over there? Jenny, what had happened was I went over for a drink and we had a 6-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon and
Lord have mercy.
And one thing led to another and then now I'm pregnant and I don't know if it belongs to Brian, Billy Bob, or my neighbor next door. Like, damn. What? So,
and now the husband is looking at her like, "Ooh, I didn't know you were that much of a whore."
and it'd be like, "Does your husband know?" No, he doesn't. Well, he knows now. Bring out the husband.
He's been waiting backstage this entire time.
I know, right?
You can be Jenny. I'll be your commentator.
Okay. You'll be my Steve. You'll be my Steve Wilkos.
I'll be your Steve. Yeah, I'll be your Steve. I'll even wear a tie.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's just. Oh my God.
All right, we gotta get to these phone calls. We gotta get to these phone calls
the entire time.
I know, right?
He's listened to every word.
I know,
and now he knows you a hoe, bitch.
I know, right? Oh God. Okay, we gotta get to these calls real quick.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. Oh, geez. 541. Miss Marlene, good evening. How you doing?
Hey, Rod, you guys are hilarious.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
And the whole thing about Springer, I wish I could remember the name of the song, but Jimmy Buffett does one, and he talks about Jerry Springer, and it's funnier than hell.
Oh, I'm going to have to find it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find it now.
I know what it is. I've got it on an album at home, but I can't remember. But it's really, really funny.
Hey, watch this. Hold on a minute, Miss Marlene. Southern Liberty Family. Look it up. Look it up for us. My moderator, you could post it to me in Discord, or if y'all find it, relay it through the chat, whatever. Let me know what song it is. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, I can. I wish I could remember. But anyway, switching gears here. Just so you know, Rod, I was able to make a comment on that measure that was, you were talking about messing with...
That rule? Uh-huh.
Yeah, messing with Title IX. And basically what I told them was that it's got to be overridden. Someone in the Senate, or many, I should have said several someone, must find some common sense, and they've got to quit messing with Title IX. Keep men and women's sports separate and pure. None of this bullshit. You know, they're putting women in with men and men in with women. No. Not supposed to be that way.
No.
At all. Ever.
If trans athletes want to participate in sports, they can have their own division.
I like that idea. I really do. Just like the gays have their own Olympics. I mean, yeah, that's perfectly fine. And as far as Mr. Alec Baldwin, he is an effing joke. And yes, I agree with you, Kel. He was stupid.
Yeah.
And I wanton endangerment sounds good to me, but I read something where it sounded like they had dropped the charges. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, they did drop the charges for him. They did not for the armorer. Okay.
Okay.
The attorneys involved are saying that they could. They may go ahead and reapply the charges at a later date. They are doing further investigation.
Okay.
But, it's my impression that they're not going to.
They probably won't just because Baldwin is who he is and he probably paid them off. Or his paid them off or something.
Like I said, his white elitist privilege.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that part. Yeah.
I have to wonder how much cussing it took on his part to get the charges dropped.
Oh, probably not much.
No, he didn't have to curse. He's like, I am a Baldwin. I am a Baldwin, but I'm not related to James Baldwin. But I am a Baldwin, and we are we are in the upper.
Just like Mr. Applesauce phrase, I am a Biden.
We are in the upper echelon of society. We wouldn't dare kill people on purpose, would we, as a Baldwin? Man, sit your ass down. You mishandled a gun. Shut up.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, here's a good one. This is back home, back in Oregon. This is in the Register Guard. I think I put it in the chat if people want to read it. I think they tried this a while back, trying it again. They want to ban polystyrene packaging.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, they tried it years ago, and it never stuck.
Here they go again. No, it didn't. What they want is they want all this stuff to be gone, all the polystyrene packaging and peanuts and all that garbage. They want it all gone by January 1, 2025. That's Senate Bill 543, and then 545. They want to change the codes in the Oregon Health Authority so that vendors can provide reusable containers. And they want to do that by June 30th, 2024. We'll see about this, and I still say it's all based on a bunch of Green New Deal nonsense.
It is.
It's stupid. But I hate to say it, I wouldn't be surprised if this crap passes. It just might.
I think it probably will. It's passed elsewhere. Polystyrene is one of those things that.
I know what it is. Yeah.
It's in some states it is illegal. I don't think it's legal in California or in. I think it's New York. Maybe Massachusetts. One of the other. There are states where it is not legal. There are companies out there. There's one here locally called Be Green, and what they do is they make packaging that's made out of bulrush, which is your cattails. Okay.
Yeah.
They make packaging for companies like Gillette razors, and it's all recyclable. It's just basically plant fibers. That's all it is.
Okay.
They're the ones. Okay, if you go to Whole Foods, you know those. It feels like a cardboard container.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's the company that makes them.
Okay. I don't go to Whole Foods in Oregon much because the one we have in Eugene is kind of a joke. But I have been to some better ones, and I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it feels kind of like cardboard, but it's not. It's actually a plant-based fiber. It's based on cattails or bulrush, which is what it is. So.
Right, which I don't see anything really wrong with that. It's just
different. No, it's a nice and the company's here. Oh God, 12 years now. So
wow.
it's been pretty successful.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I guess finally, an update. I mentioned to the Cobra Radio people, but we're flying. We stayed an extra couple of days down here, and we're going to head back tomorrow. Tomorrow evening. We get back to Eugene like we usually do about midnight.
Yeah.
Found a possible place to rent in Stewart, which I was really shocked.
Cool.
But, application process is starting. Like I say, I am not getting my hopes up. But I figure if it's supposed to happen, it will.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Agreed.
serious. I'm not getting because I have no clue. And plus the application with the management company, since you're renting in a condo place, they have their own application process. So who knows? I'm just going to say to myself, I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
if it's supposed to happen, fine. If not, we move on.
Fingers crossed, Marlene. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We got to let you go, honey. We got a couple more people behind you.
Oh, I don't bet. That's just Blanco. All right. Say good night.
All right. Good night.
Have fun, hon.
All right. We got we got two waiting through. So y'all hang in there. We'll get to you. Get through like kung fu. Next caller popping up here 270. Come on through like kung fu, Mr. Rico. What's good?
How are the reparation things going in San Francisco?
I don't know. I don't keep up with that hot garbage.
Yeah, nobody's paying any attention to it.
Well, I got a better idea. Why don't we just put every white person in America for what happened in the past in prison? That way, every person, melanated person, would be paying for it.
The hell? The shit you come up with sometimes. I mean,
God, wouldn't that be true, though? Wouldn't that be true?
I mean, wow.
Listen, listen. That's all I have to say. I'm gonna let you go.
I got nothing. I got nothing. This guy,
he's nuts.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. All right. Next caller, 361. I know this number's for you. 361. Let me guess. That's got to be Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on, Rod?
What's going down, brother? How you doing? What is good?
Hey, Kel, how are you doing?
I'm good, baby. How are you?
Just great.
Well, good.
Jerry Springer just opened up the trailer park to America. It was outstanding.
You're right, though. You're right.
But us who lived in those trailer parks, come on. We already knew about this mess.
But look here, though. Real talk, Sam. Look here, though. What's the difference between the trailer park and the hood?
Really, not a damn thing.
just the fact that the trailer park has it on wheels, honey.
Exactly.
Look.
It's hot garbage on wheels instead of in an apartment building.
It was just a lot of fun to watch people. Isn't that sad, though?
It is. It is.
I'm an older guy, so I just remember watching Jerry Springer like, does people really live like that? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yep. So, listen, when you start talking trash about different peoples and colors and everything, just turn on some Jerry Springer and just get that white reality check. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Because, look, trash is trash. It doesn't matter what color that is. You know?
Damn straight.
Oh my God!
Hey, I'm just calling tonight, man, just to ask you what's your guys' opinion on DeSantis? What's the vibe there? I know Rod may be in Florida, but how do you feel about this? You think he's a strong candidate? What's going on with all that?
Here's the thing, DeSantis, he is a strong candidate, and all of this is backhandedness, right? In cahoots with, and watch this, it's Democrats and Republicans in cahoots again, the same thing they did to Trump. It's the same exact thing, right? I mean, if we go back, right, and we think about, let's think about the most current incident, right, with the flooding, the flash flooding in Fort Lauderdale. Right, and how they were short fuel down there, right? And I had to, and the Florida Democrats were like, I can't believe DeSantis is not down here. I'm like, when Port Everglades stopped all that fuel, right? There's 1,200 tankers, right? That comes out of Port Everglades every day just to service the Fort Lauderdale, Miami metro area. That's there alone, right? You're stopping 13.9 million gallons of fuel in one day. And you stop that for one day, you're going to have shortages everywhere.
Yeah.
But, right? And then the Florida Democrats are like, oh my God, this, that, third. I'll say, it's right there on their logistics board. It's right there on Port Everglades logistics. I went and looked at it because I remember when you tagged me in it, I was like, oh, let me look what's going on. And I seen where they had held up 1,200 trucks, 1,200 fully tanker trucks, right? And then obviously they're over like 6,000 gallons per. So the math came up to 13.9 million gallons of fuel. Like an area, 13.9 million gallons of fuel, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. In an area, right? You have literally a gas station on every corner. Like Fort Lauderdale literally has a gas station literally almost on every single corner if you're on the main drag.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're dealing with that. So now they try to spin that on DeSantis. He should have been down there coordinating. What was he going to coordinate? What was he going to do? Put on a vest and have those little flashlight cones and direct trucks out of the terminal? Like, what? Right? And then on top of that, right? And then on top of that, when you literally get 14 inches in an hour, how do you clean that up fast? You can't. So they gaslight him for that. And then they started going in on him, right, with the whole don't say gay bill, right? Democrats and Republicans alike, right? We're right here backhanding him on this, right? The school choice thing. They try to backhand him on that, right? And I'm sitting here, it's like they're gaslighting DeSantis. Trump's not helping the situation.
No.
Right? So they're trying to say DeSantis don't run DeSantis don't run.
But then they made it possible for him to run.
Yeah,
because the legislature just said, "Oh, we're going to change the law so that you don't have to resign your governorship in order to run for president."
Yep.
Well, here's my thing, Kel. So we keep talking about DeSantis is going to run, but has anybody heard of platform at all? Like, what is his plans? What's going on?
I'll tell you like this, and this is what I hear inside baseball, and this actually comes out of Volusia County GOP because that's what district he comes out of, District 6. He more than likely will not run. I can't say more than that from what I've been told, but he's not running for president.
And everyone is looking at the fact that he's going around the world as far as going to Southeast Asia and everything else right now. That is a job hunting trip. That's one of those things where he's trying to form business ties for the state.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with running for president.
Right. Governors do that all the time.
Yes, they do
that all the time.
Yes, they do.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I think it seems like Republicans are really just getting into a lot of infighting at this point.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But you know what, Sam?
Trump is causing a lot of that, and we got to be honest about that.
Oh yeah, I've called him out on it. Like, yo, come on, man, you gotta stop this. But see, here's the thing, right? Isn't it funny how conservatives have all of a sudden flipped their script? Right, and especially on social media, Sam, I know you've seen it. All of a sudden, now we're going after DeSantis because George Soros said something about him. Oh, he's got to be a Soros puppet. And I'm like, what? Wait. Skirt, wait a minute. All Soros said, right, was he would be a better candidate than Trump. That's all he said. But, right, the media, right, especially the quote unquote what we deem the right wing media, has said Soros bad. So that's been ingrained. So anytime anybody's attached to Soros, all bad. No, but Soros.
But the problem is most of us have said that DeSantis would be a better candidate than Trump.
Yeah.
He's basically Trump with the brakes on, you know? He's got an edit button.
Right.
And this is the deal, though. I don't think Trump is running this time to win, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense.
I think there's something behind this that I don't understand. I think he's throwing some signals towards DeSantis that is telling him that, hey, there's going to be some things that, listen, here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that the Democrats are formulating, right? Let's just say this: everything that progressives are formulating, there's not going to be a Republican that's going to win this next general election, right? So if you could focus all your attention on Trump and then get into, locally, that would be the best bet. And it seems like Republicans in general just aren't doing that. They got the eye on the prize of that executive office instead of sopping that executive power.
Yeah.
Somehow, I just get this feeling that Trump is throwing that signal out there and just nobody's listening. Just my opinion.
I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I'm not hearing a whole lot from people who are willing to run for the House or Congress or the Senate right now. Of course, it's early for them. It's early for them to be, campaigning.
Right.
Well, and again, I just he one of the things that he signaled that I'm just going to throw out there as a red flag is he continuously talks about these elections at the general level. So we noticed how SC changed their, South Carolina changed their rules, basically just backtracked on their own selves. Even laws that they rebuked since 2018 as far as like ID laws, so on and so forth.
Oh, North Carolina.
That's North Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So now we're starting to see that that Republicans, are they waking up to the fact that we do need these laws, or are they waking up to the fact that they're trying to secure the party? And this is
as far as North Carolina goes, though, that's more along the lines of securing state power.
Right.
That's more along the lines of cleaning house as far as between the legislature and the Supreme Court for the state.
Well, here's the deal with DeSantis. He has no way of winning the general election. He doesn't have the name recognition. There's other states, even in the South, even in the Midwest, that in no way want to be Florida, right? So there's really nothing that he can run on. And we have to be honest about this. And I think Trump keeps throwing that out there. And this is one thing that I want everyone to understand, that Trump is more or less trying to, at this point, I really think he's trying to go after the Republican Party. And I'm warning the Republican Party of this because I think he's about ready to split what we consider an independent and a conservative and so on and so forth. And I think he's to that point to where it may be a revenge factor for him. And I'm telling you, watch out for that.
It's a good possibility.
Oh,
that's a great possibility, as a matter of fact.
It's stronger than what I think conservatives, or so-called self-proclaimed conservatives, and independents, or whatever you want to label yourself as a person of a political persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you really look at what Trump is moving towards, it's self-preservation, number one, and number two, I think he's moving towards a third party, ladies and gentlemen, or at least creating that path. If you look at how Junior is involved, talking about Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
If you look at how what is that name, Rasamway, or whatever his name is,
Ramaswamy.
We're starting to see, we're starting to see all of these different factions that are really starting to gain traction. Do you know how much money Ramaswamy, or whatever his name is raised?
A lot
of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Same thing with Kennedy.
Wouldn't it be fascinating? And I'm saying this kind of to bring home the point that you're making.
Well,
if
Carol,
Tulsi, now wait a minute, if Tulsi Gabbard were tapped as his vice, because that would mean he has gone independent.
No, before we make any points about parties or Donald Trump or whatever, we have to go back to what Donald Trump originally said many, many years ago, 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
He only ran on the Republican ticket because he could not force a third party into the situation.
Yeah.
Right? So he really ran, if you really think about it, to throw a monkey wrench into politics as we know it. He's done that now, right? So if you look at if you look at how the left is divided, I say the left, but if you look at how a Democrat or a self-proclaimed Democrat thinks of themselves, they don't like what's going on as far as establishment and parties concerned. Republicans don't like Republicans, whatever you call yourself, conservative, whatever the case may be. They don't like what their head of parties are doing.
Yeah.
Didn't he achieve that goal?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, he achieved that goal with the MAGA movement.
Yeah. Yeah. So this last run, because and speaking of the MAGA movement, didn't he prove once again? And let's look back at the Tea Party movement. Let's just look back at the Green parties. Let's look back at how our government has just turned their focus on these fringe movements versus the two parties, right?
Right. Yep.
Oh, yeah. In an effort to destroy it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, I think now Americans are more apt to accept a third, fourth, fifth party, whatever the case would be now, just because of Donald Trump and just because of the junior situation that's fixing to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up. It's coming. There's not going to be a two-party system very much longer.
No, you're right.
In our lifetime.
Well, that's true.
In our lifetime, we will see this.
No, we can.
And I keep warning people. I keep warning people of this because I think that they take it. There's a lot of people that call themselves conservatives that are really American nationalists or more of a libertarian view. I think that they're beginning to. I think Americans, especially our generation, my generation, Generation X. I think we consider ourselves probably more labelist than anything else. We don't want to be labeled. We don't want to be part of this or part of that.
We just want to be left alone,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm seeing, but I'm seeing more and more independents, more and more libertarians, coming out of the woodwork because they're sick and damn tired of both the Republicans and the Democrats.
Well, they consider themselves libertarian, but a lot of them have more progressive views than anything else, right?
Some do, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of them do, if you really get down to the root of what they are. Or not say what they are, what they're advocating.
Espousing,
right? Yeah. So it's a lot with conservatives, too. A lot of conservatives are more progressive, right? More authoritarian, really. There's a huge part of the Conservative Party that's
very statist. Yeah, they're very statist.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So they could be a party in themselves, right? And I think that's very much in our future. And I've been saying this for a long, long time. A long time. As soon as Trump came along and he was elected, that's when I knew that we are really in a disarray of a split, which is okay.
Yeah.
Because I think what that will do on the federal level will completely plug it up, right? There's nothing that's going to get passed. If there's really going to be something that's going to happen at the federal level, then it's going to have to be when we say uniparty or all agreed upon, it's really going to have to be agreed upon. I think if conservatives are smart, right? When they say that they're conservative, when I say conservative, I mean conserving our nation as a rule of law, constitution, care for our people, so on and so forth, right? Then they have the advantage at this point. Are they gonna jump on that? Because let me tell you, I think that DeSantis, and I don't want to offend a lot of people out there, but I think he's a puppet. And puppet in the sense that I think that he's a type of person that's willing to move along in the political process, and he'll do what he has to do, right? And here's the deal. Are they going to make an example of him? Because...
Well, they're certainly trying to now.
Once they get... Oh, yeah, because once they get through with Trump, then the progressives, and especially, and again, I keep saying this, the populists are really, really going to know the recipe of how to get rid of their political foes.
Yep.
So my warning to a lot of these DeSantis, what do they call them, the simps or whatever online? Whatever,
yeah, they call them, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're going to hunt you. Look, there's two things that especially that they're teaching. There's one main component that they're teaching politically. This next generation, or the youngest generation, Generation Z, and there's one thing that this progressive, authoritarian, really, let's just call them Nazis, in my opinion. What they're doing is teaching them how to exclude party affiliation when it's all said and done, right? They're teaching them to excoriate conservatives. So the label conservative, right? Conservatives need to really sit back, have a soul-searching moment, and think about dropping your label, even inventing a new label, right? Because it's going to be a matter of survival.
Well,
right?
Well, look, that's what they did, right? I mean, think about how our political process happened, right? I mean, look, we went from Federalists and anti-Federalists to Democrats, Republicans, and Whigs, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And right, the anti-Federalist rebranded as Whigs. People don't realize that, but they rebranded as the anti-Federalists rebranded as Whigs, right?
Yes, they
Republican
did.
Party, right?
Yep.
Isn't that kind of funny how that happened?
Yep.
But we don't talk about that part. And then Lincoln comes into the mix, right? Union Party.
God. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Now we got a third party, fourth party, actually. We got a fourth party at this point.
Right. But here's my fear. So I love Rico to death, but he talks a lot about party defeating party, right? When in essence, I love Rico to death, but it really is about Americanism defeating. And when I say Americanism, I say that it's based on principles of our Constitution, rule of law, taking care of all of our citizens, right? So on and so forth, right? That's what the real battle's about. These parties are never going to. They're going to combine. I'll give you a prime example. That the most amount of money spent in colleges for alternative sexuality training and courses is Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, Arizona. They're the ones that spend the most money. And Florida, by the way, is top 10 spending money for the past 20 years on teaching sexuality courses in their colleges, state-funded, right?
Mm-hmm.
All Republican-led for the last 20 years. When all of this comes down, because I think they think that a lot of people, they think Gen Z just really enjoys this trans thing or whatever the case. No, nobody enjoys this. Everyone's questioning it, right?
Right.
When it comes down to it, it's always, remember how progressives work. They're always going to turn around and point the finger of, but they're the ones that did it.
Yep.
Right?
Every
the
time.
ones that did it, so on and so forth. Every single time. And the evidence always points back to who? Let's think about it. Patriot Act always points back to a Republican.
Yep.
Right? It's just like this transgender thing. Who funded this shit for the last 20 years in these colleges? In southern states, mainly, top 10, but in other colleges, right? Republicans. It keeps going back. That's how they slide themselves into this shit.
Yeah.
So when populists, when other generations come around, well, that shit's wrong, well, it was Republicans. It's all a setup.
Yeah,
that's the reason why it's all a setup. It's like Whigs fucked shit up enough, right? Through a uniparty thing that they split off and made a Republican Party, right? And guess who won? Lincoln. I guess with my long-winded stories or my long-winded talk, I'm telling you that conservatives, just American-minded, principled, valued people, you need to think about dropping labels, and you need to think about building locally, because at the federal level, that's a mess at this point, and you're probably looking at split or 2 or 3 or 4 parties at this point that's going to come about in the next 10 years.
Oh yeah.
So you really need to be thinking about principles locally, who's running your local government, really digging into how things operate at that local level. Understand what happens at that local level, taking over your schools. And again, conservatives, I've yet to hear your plan. I hear this great plan about we're going to have these schools, we're going to have this self-funded, we're just going to give you the money and you can educate your child type shit, right? But no one is actually explaining what control over this money that you're giving that you're giving these parents is going to have, right? We can have homeschools all you want to, and we can state fund it, but if the state has total control over that money, then they're going to tell you what you're going to teach your child, or they won't fund it.
Right.
So all of this school choice and this, that, and the third, guys, you've got to be smart. You've got to think forward. Conservatives have to start thinking forward and start really thinking about taking control. Because I'm going to tell you, my generation, Rod's generation, and we're not all about this party control and government control shit. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. The Gen X is not about it. And we're coming to that point, to that age where we ain't got nothing else to do but sit around and talk politics.
Right.
Yeah.
You hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
What? We're going to win the battle at the end, but guys, I'm telling you, please. I know I'm long-winded tonight, probably like some sad shit that I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. But guys, you really got to start thinking about the future's fixing to be really bleak and it's really bad. And what you think that what you're familiar with today, right? All this party and 2 parties, and I'm just going to be D and an R and this, that, and the third. Man, it's really coming to an end, and really quickly. When I say quickly, at least a couple of years. So be prepared. And I love you guys, and I'm sorry that I was all long-winded and all deep into shit, but
that's
I really appreciate you guys, and really thank you guys for everything that you do.
Thank you.
So
we really appreciate having you around, honey.
All right. Appreciate you, Sam. Appreciate you.
All right.
Hugs, honey.
All right. No, we came down the end of the night, and Sam made a few good points there, right? I mean, we have to get away from the state control, right? We can't. And I've said that before on here. It's like we can have the money follow the child, right? Because it's our tax money. But again, if the state is holding the purse, it doesn't matter, right? We got to have that. We got to have that money given to us, or you know what I mean, not taken out of our taxes. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not being taxed for that, so we can keep that for, etc. Right? Like, but that's I'm not going to get into that because that's some long division too. But because we got to wrap this mudsucker up, Miss Kel. Appreciate you always. Love you.
Thank you. It's always fun.
I love everybody in the good old lovely, lively live chat. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do, but I will say enjoy it, because for most of the Southeast, this is probably going to be the last attempt at cool weekend we're gonna have, and it's gonna start ramping up. So get on the water, do what you do, fish, whatever, pick strawberries, blueberries, all that good stuff, and enjoy your weekend. Until next time, life, love, liberty, and happiness. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Southern Liberty Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media. Subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.bpmg.us, or leave a rating and review on iTunes. To catch all the latest from Roderick, you can follow him on social media at manofjustice007. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.